Greetings. I am Tabin of a Mind Transformed, and this is Manna for Your Journey. Have you ever found yourself in a situation or known someone who's been in a situation where they're doing everything possible to keep something afloat, to keep something going, to keep something moving in a direction, to try to maintain it, or anything like that? And they may say things like, I feel as if this literally is killing me, it's draining me, it's taking everything I have to continue this, and they're not finding any enjoyment in it. See, the question is, why continue to do so? And people do things like this because they think they're being helpful. Let me tell you, usually what immediately follows something or someone when they say they're just being helpful or they're going to do something to be helpful is bondage. Because a lot of time that statement will get people put into bondage or locked into things that they never wanted to be a part of because they were just being helpful. If you're in a situation where you're doing everything to maintain something, to keep it going, to keep it up, and you feel like it's draining you or you feel like it's killing you, I have a simple statement for you. Let it fall. Let it fall. Let it fall. 2 Samuel 6, 3 through 8, and 1 Chronicles 13, 7 through 11 give us the same story, maybe some additional details about a man by the name of Uzzah, or Uzzah, some would pronounce it. However you choose to pronounce it's up to you. Unless you're talking to a biblical scholar, then they'll probably be mad if you pronounce it wrong. Don't worry about it. But this man was charged with bringing back the ark, bringing it back into the children of Israel at David's command. The entire nation of Israel wanted to bring the ark back. It had been sitting at this location for the past 20 years since the Philistines stole it and didn't enjoy having it because God was completely against that idea. In their attempt to bring the ark back, they set it on a new cart. And as the oxen were leading it, it looks like the ark was getting ready to fall. The oxen shook, they stumbled, something happened, and it appeared as if the ark may fall off the cart. And Uzzah stuck his hand out to steady it or catch it. And when he did so, the Lord was immediately angry with him, and he died. He should have simply let it fall. See, the thing about it was, God had already given the children of Israel instructions on how to transport the ark anyway. It wasn't on a cart. It had loops on it, circles on it, where poles were supposed to be inserted and they could carry the ark. But they didn't go with that plan. Sometimes when you're trying to maintain something, you're trying to keep it going, you're doing everything you can to keep something in place. The reason why it's that way, or the person that may have said, let's do that, didn't hear properly from God, or may not be following the instructions God gave, and yet here you are being helpful, trying to keep something going that God never intended to be in the first place, and it's literally draining you. It's literally killing you. When God gives us a plan, when God sends us to do something, when God calls us to a situation, He'll give us the strength and the endurance and the grace to keep it or maintain it. He'll give us the strength, the endurance, or the grace to keep it or maintain it. When God calls us to lead something, He'll give us the vision in addition to the strength, the endurance, and the grace. But when we go on our own, in the guise of being helpful, when we feel like we're going to make sure that this works out, and we have to put in the extra effort to keep it going, we find ourselves tired, we find ourselves drained, we find ourselves in positions pouring into something that feels like it's bottomless, because that's not what God would have us to do. There are times that us being helpful keeps something going that God wants to let it fall. I guarantee you, had that ark hit the ground, they would have carried it properly. They would have carried it in the manner that God would have wanted. But they didn't consult God. They got a new cart. See, sometimes we'll get something, we'll be halfway obedient to God. We'll get new ways to do wrong things. We'll dress it up and make it look pretty. They got a new cart, not an old cart. Because I guess an old cart wouldn't have looked right when it should have never been on a cart. When you keep stuff going, you don't allow God to move in. If something falls and hits the ground, people will usually take a look at it and come up with a new plan or do something different, or they could consult God and do it his way. But as long as you maintain it, as long as you keep it going, people think it's fine and they're going to continue. And all it is costing you is your life. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he can do that by getting us to think in the mode of, I'm just being helpful. We should be mindful of what God wants, not helpful. Let it fall. It will be okay. Because you could be sticking your hand out to catch something that God never intended for you to catch. And you'll suffer the consequences while everybody else goes on. Let it fall. Well, that's all I have for you today. Again, my name is Tabin of A Mind Transformed. This has been Manna for your journey. Be blessed.